Big news of the day, even though it is the NBA postseason, leave it to the NFL to steal the headlines once again. That is because the Baltimore Ravens earlier today released 8-time All-Pro, statistically the greatest kicker in NFL history, Justin Tucker. He is now no longer with the Baltimore Ravens. This should come as no surprise
I'll
for two
still say
reasons.
Adam Vinatieri because he made so many big kicks. I'm not saying – I know what you're talking about statistically, but Adam – there's no Tom Brady without those 3 Super Bowl winning kicks.
That's fair.
Right?
Yes. So the reason why this shouldn't come as a surprise to you if you're a football fan, number one, the Ravens drafted a kicker in the draft, so you kind of saw this coming. But number two, and probably most importantly, Justin Tucker has been accused of inappropriate behavior by 16 different massage therapists from 8 different Baltimore area spas. There is a cloud hanging over the Tucker name right now, and as a result, he is no longer a member of the Baltimore Ravens.
Are you sure about that? Because that's not the way they positioned it, Rob G. They kind of positioned it, roster's full. We got to make tough roster decisions. And, they didn't position it like that, Robs.
They don't have to position it like that because, A, there's a couple of ways that they get
what?
No, I was going to say squirming out of this, and I was trying to say squirming out of this.
Okay.
They have a couple of reasons.
Okay.
A, he cost them about 3 games last year. He was bad. And maybe it was because he knew the other shoe was going to drop.
That's a real thing.
And he was waiting and waiting. You know what I mean? And I do believe that that's part of it. And then they did go out and draft somebody else. And I think that's why they're able to do that and say it's a football decision because he didn't play that well last year. But there's no doubt in my mind that this is over the cloud hanging over his head, which is MassageGate. This is all about MassageGate. And I don't understand it. I really don't. And, he came out. Remember when the story came out from the paper? Because it's not the Baltimore Sun. It's like another paper that people didn't know about. Remember we had talked about this. I said, let me tell you something.
I
the
know.
Printed word, I said ain't no story didn't go through lawyers before they put that accusing a man of a situation like that. Okay? So that story was vetted. They went through everything. They have all the logs when they told him he was not welcome there. Yep. It's all documented. It's not even like, oh, yeah, he came by and we thought he was a freak and we told him to leave. No, it's documented. Where they told him what date, when they told him not to come back, and that his behavior was inappropriate and so on and so on and so on. Anyway, he claimed that it had nothing to do, that this was false and made up or whatever. And the Ravens there's too much. So then there's always this dilemma. Is it morality, morals versus football? Where are you? Here's a guy who is very inappropriate with women. Is that who you want to wear your uniform, represent your organization, right? Because it's not just you. And there's been times when they've turned their heads for people who are stars. And don't forget, Kobe was involved in a rape case and continued to play. That would never happen today. But he's flying on the Lakers team, playing back and forth to games. He wasn't suspended by the league. Like it was, and you're innocent until proven guilty,
100%.
No doubt. But you could also say it's time to step back and let me handle this and get my name cleared, and then I'll come back. Kind of like where Shannon Sharpe is.
You beat me to it.
Right? Like the same thing. He's still doing his own entity, right? That's how I guess he lives and feels like. But he works for Disney and works for somebody else and with ESPN. Rather than have them tell him.
He just said, let's just take a pause.
Let's just take a pause.
Clear my name,
exactly.
Figure this out.
And then we'll come back and hopefully this is settled and I can resume my analyst job in that case. But I guess my point is I applaud the Baltimore Ravens because at some point, just because you can play ball should not be the reason why an organization should accept behavior and allow you to continue. Doesn't mean that you can't go work somewhere else, but we would rather you not work here. And that's really what it is. They didn't make it wasn't a damnation like, oh, he did this and there's nothing there about that. They know the investigation, but they didn't go that far. I'm cool with it. I have no issues.
My only issue is, or it would have been a more interesting conversation had we seen what you're referring to. See, if this were Justin Tucker of 3 years ago, and this comes out where he's, as Rob G said, best kicker ever, he's just amazing, Mr. Clutch, you know he's going to make all these big kicks, then it would have been amazing to see had they said, you know what, this is too much, we're going to move forward. But it's easier to do now because he sucked last season. And he's older, and it's easier to move on because of all this drama. I would have been more compelled to be like, wow, the Baltimore Ravens really mean business on a moral level had they did this, like I said, 2, 3, 4 years ago when he was still in his peak, still in his prime.
Yeah, but this wasn't available to them.
Well, right. So I'm saying it's easier. So I'm saying it's easier to do so now. And I think historically in the NFL, what we have seen is the opposite. We've seen where you can name the thing where the guy's using drugs, selling drugs, beating women, throwing women on guns, Greg Hardy, and they continue to get work. And you've heard me say this, and you will hear me say until I feel proven the other way. You can do anything as long as you don't kneel. That was the one thing you couldn't do.
But I can give you a great example of somebody who was in his prime, who had just won a Cy Young, and he cannot get work in Major League Baseball. Trevor Bauer.
Oh, yeah, but I'm talking about the NFL.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like Trevor Bauer, the Dodgers, you know how much money they ate? And the whole case and whatnot, there's all kinds of murky, and he never got charged or whatever it was. But the Dodgers
also
still
know the
would
reason
rather.
Why.
You know what I mean?
You know about Trevor Bauer, though.
No, I'm just.
He's most people perceive. They dislike him.
No,
he's very difficult. Yeah, he's good. He's solid. He could have been a rotation.
But I'm just saying. But he won a Cy Young just a year before.
And the numbers went down once them balls wasn't juiced too.
You know what I mean?
So that's another whole thing with him. But absolutely, Trevor Bauer. He was like, I'm not gonna put up with that guy and put our name out here and a reputation for a guy we don't even like.
And I'm not surprised. Like the Dodgers, to me, like that you're not wearing our uniform.
Yeah.
We're the organization of Jackie Robinson.
100%.
And we'll eat the money. They ate a lot of money.
They did. But absolutely, just to get rid of it. So to conclude on this, the Baltimore Ravens, to your point, have proven to be usually, at least it seems, a stand-up organization. They haven't had a bunch of drama, if you will. Ozzie Newman was there doing great things for a long time. So they have proven to be that. And it becomes difficult.
You said Newsom, didn't you?
Yeah. That's Ozzie Newsom?
Newsom. I don't know.
It becomes very difficult, though, because of the part we just said, innocent until proven guilty. And that becomes challenging for jobs and for businesses and organizations, right? How do I give them the leeway to go through the legality of it? You mentioned Kobe. With also saying this doesn't look good for us. Is the difference Kobe Bryant, bad as the situation was, it was one person, he said, she said, versus, 16 people in this case? What was it? 30, 40 with Deshaun Watson?
So, 60 with Bill Cosby? I'm just saying,
exactly.
The numbers are so big.
I think when you get there, it ends up becoming possibly where there's smoke, there's fire. So if it were one woman, maybe two, or just one particular spa,
I agree with that.
He can say it was a misunderstanding.
It's a he said, she said with one person, but you cannot tell me that 16 women are lying on you.
Over 8 different places over a 4-year period.
And they have all the documentation.
All of it documented. We asked them not to come here anymore. So then that tells me there's issue, and this is why they do it. But I can at least understand from time to time where organizations are like, look, I don't know what to do. It's one woman. He's telling us it's a lie. I didn't. She's saying he did. How do we handle that? Because we want to give him the grace and leeway to play it out. But on the flip side, this looks bad. So it becomes very difficult. But when you have 16 folks, 8 different locations, I think it makes it easier choice. The news was Justin Tucker was released by the Ravens. They made it as if it was a roster and a difficult decision. They didn't really touch on the allegations. Moral versus football decisions. That's what we're talking about. 877-99 on Fox. Who we got?
Let's go with Robert in Georgia. You're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Robert?
What's going on, fellas? How y'all holding up?
Doing good. How are you?
I'm blessed, man. I wanted to really say I appreciate y'all for touching this subject because I was scrolling through X, Twitter, whatever they call it, and I even being on just watching regular TV, I seen nobody attempt or touch this subject. And just in general, I appreciate y'all for touching the subject because a lot of people shy away from it. And my main question more than anything, I do think he deserved to be kicked off the team, was why isn't this getting the same coverage as Deshaun Watson, which I understand he's not a quarterback, but still, he's the same amount of allegations, and that nobody even covered. It's just like it's being swept under the rug. Like, it's just another day. And so,
well, not on the Odd Couple, as you know, Robert. You've been listening for a long time.
A couple of things real quick.
We'll
Robert.
lead the show with
100%. We're leading our show with it. And
Exactly.
Rob and I had covered this. This is probably the third time since this all broke out with him. And to answer your question, Robert, thank you for listening and for the call. One of the reasons we kind of talked about was the perfect timing of the allegations on his end, meaning it was literally right after the Ravens had got knocked out of the postseason, and it was kind of a week or so later, give or take. And he's not Pat Mahomes out of the playoffs where we're still going to talk about it. Was it enough? Why will he ever win a Super Bowl again? Him being in the background, being a kicker who had a bad season, as we talked about, that helped him. Deshaun Watson was white hot at the time.
Was a star quarterback.
MVP candidate at that time.
No doubt. Andrew in Tennessee, you're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Andrew?
Not much, buddy. I'm a long-time listener.
Thank
I
you.
just want to say I feel like a lot of it has to do with football. The dude was trash last year.
He cost them 3 games.
without a doubt.
Well, you watch the games, Andrew. He cost them 3 games. They played
100%.
Pittsburgh, and he missed like 2 kicks in that game, and they lost by what? A couple, like 2 or
2. I think it was 2.
2.
Yeah.
Any kick that came up over 50, it was a toss-up. And he used to be absolute money from old.
I was in Detroit when he kicked that 60.
thank
What
you.
was it? I'm sorry.
62 or something.
62 or 3-yarder, Rob G. What was that?
63.
62. I was at that game.
Yeah, thank you, Rob. You tell us all the time.
I know.
Thank you.
I saw it. All right. Thanks,
You brought
Andrew.
up a great point with that, though, Rob, that
Appreciate you.
is that stuff on his brain knowing it's coming.
Because
we have seen Deshaun Watson ain't been
'cause
right,
he-
Tiger Woods wasn't right.
Because you know it's out there. Like they don't just write the story.
No, they call,
came
hey,
and asked
we heard this. Would you comment or not?
Exactly. So you know that there's brewing. They're working on the story. Nobody where a story comes out of nowhere because they got to contact you and
you,
try.
your job. Somebody gonna call. Hey man, I got a call from the this law firm or this newspaper.
Exactly.
They're gonna know.
Andre in Massachusetts, you're on the Odd Couple. I'm having trouble talking today.
I'm not. Listen, he got out of school. School
Yes.
got out last week. You ain't been right since. Jumping in chairs. Rob G, did you see this man jumping in chairs?
You see me trying to
Jumping on tables?
He ain't gonna make it 6 years.
He ain't gonna make it 6
I might
years.
be in the hospital
Yes.
for the last 4.
We're doing it. Rob G, I'm okay. I'm in a full casket, but my mouth works.
Andre in Massachusetts, you're on the Odd Couple,
Look
Fox
crazy.
Sports Radio.
How you doing? Thanks for taking the call. It's a good time for the college students and the college professors right now. Class is finishing up. And
Yes, it
riding
is.
off into the sunset. The high school folks, we got a little bit of ways to go. But in the Northeast, the weather's turned around.
Right, you don't get out until like June, right? Until late June.
Yeah, mid-June.
Wait, you're a teacher?
Yes.
Indeed, yeah.
Oh
Working at
man,
State.
congrats! I love
Yeah.
that, man. That's beautiful. I didn't know that, Dre.
Sports and history, that's my passion. But specific to Justin Tucker, as the other callers have said, he only made 73% of his field goals last year, okay? And he missed 10 total, which is the most since 2015 where he missed 7. So the production on the field hasn't been what it was in years past. B, and then A, the elephant in the room is these allegations, and I think you guys are on to something. He heard the footsteps.
Yep.
This is stuff that's going on in the background. He knows it's coming. It's going to break out at any particular time. And for any position on the football field, quarterback is the most important position in football and arguably all of sports. But for kickers, your mental has to be right. You have to be in that zone. You have to have that zen to be able to believe you can go out there and execute under pressure. And he clearly didn't have it this year. And I think that there is a correlation between what was going on in his personal life. He projects himself as this family-first, conservative,
Oh
stability.
yeah. Oh yeah.
And,
Oh yeah.
And then that makes it even when you have that forward-facing, righteous persona, and then you know that there's some cracks in the armor. That can even make it more of a situation. So those things combined, Ravens move forward. They're bringing the kicker for the future, and that's that. Thanks for
No
taking the call.
doubt. Thank you. And I do want to say our buddy Lomas Brown just texted us. He listens to the show all the time.
Shout out to Lomas.
And he said it was a 66-yarder.
Tell Lomas I said, Lomas, me and you,
Thanks,
Lomas.
Lomas.
We're supposed to be remember that.
No, Lomas. Thanks for
Come on,
correcting.
Lomas.
I mean, here I am trying to listen.
3-yard difference, whatever.
That's a big difference. That's why I knew it was like a crazy kick. I didn't know Lomas is listening. He said
66.
66
You
yards.
said it was a 26-yard. I ain't nothing. Everybody makes 26-yard field goals.
66. Thanks,
Oh, my bad.
Lomas.
I'm sorry.